Most people stay at the large campgrounds outside Sturgis. It's like Buffalo Chip. It costs $300, including concerts, if you stay for 1 to 15 days. Biker entrepreneurs really think outside the box, offering up some bizarre activities that even the most die-hard biker might find unusual, like a machine gun shooting gallery.
So what is
Who
it,
thinks of
25
these
bucks
things?
and what you get, shoot a gun?
Machine gun firing is expensive, $1 a round, with a single burst of 20 rounds lasting just a few seconds. As hobbies go, it doesn't get much more expensive. Shooters on a budget fire the machine guns as if they were rifles, 1 round at a time.
It's kind of funny to see some of these big tough biker guys come up here. There they go. They come up here big tough macho, you know, and the next thing you know, they're laughing like crazy after they get through emptying around a magazine of rounds. It's a good time. We come up here and camp. The relatives are along, and it's just plain fun. Out west here especially, there's probably, I bet you half the states. There's probably 20, 30 states that you can do this in. Of course, some states, absolutely you can't. Illinois, I think, is one of them. Yeah, they've got gun laws in some cities that it's just crazy.
In South Dakota, it's legal to own or buy a machine gun from an individual or from a licensed gun dealer.
There are some gun stores that you can buy them from, that's true, yeah. Really? But the guy at the gun store has to have the Class 3 license, or Class 2 license, Class 2 manufacturer license.
To sell them?
To sell them to you. Or even, for him to even buy them, he has to have that license. Going to a gun store, you'd have to ask the owner if he has any Class 3 weapons that are fully transferable. Those are the ones that were registered prior to '86. They're 50 years of age or older for the most part. And that way an individual can have, yeah, but it takes a long time. You have to fill out the paperwork, pay the transfer tax, send it into the federal government. It can take as long as 3 or 4 months to get it. You just can't go in and buy one off the shelf, you know.
There you go.
Firing a machine gun doesn't completely satisfy. The biker entrepreneurs have come up with an even more bizarre attraction a few feet away. The only tank ride in the world outside Great Britain. A World War II Russian tank ready to go.
This tank was on the Russian front. Again, it was captured by the German army during World War II and utilized by the Germans when they overran their position.
Normally this hatch would be closed, and then there's 2 periscopes, so then I lose 90% of the vision that I have right now. Then all I have is 2 3-inch vision slits, and it goes up and it's simply periscopes looking straight forward. Then there's zero vision off to either side. All you have is those 2 3-inch periscopes straight forward.
You can't really see anything in the
Nope,
tank.
you have no vision. All you have is the direction of the commander beating on the gunner, who would then beat on the driver. Luckily for me, I know the course. Lived down the street from my grandfather. He bought the machine gun that goes in the front of the tank here, and he needed a place to park it and he needed someone to restore it. So he parked it at my grandfather's farm, had my dad and my grandfather restore it. Now a lot of it has changed since it left the farm, but I started out mowing the guy's lawn. A few years later I was driving his tank. Actually, when it was at my grandfather's farm, of course no one ever believed me. I tell them, yeah, there's a tank out at my grandfather's farm, who believes that? So, of course no one ever believed that, so there's no point in telling people at school. Yeah. And so actually, I had my birthday party out at my grandfather's farm, and we went for tank rides. Of course then, they didn't say much after that as far as not having a tank, because they knew it was there then. And a few weeks later, we had some veterans out, and they all came out and they rode in the tank, and they had a blast. And pretty soon the business started up, tank ride, and now you can see where it's at now, and we're out here at Sturgis. And your clutch here is just like any manual car. Here's your brake, here's your gas pedal down here. You also have a hand throttle here, here's your shifter, and you got, now what we use 1 forward gear, 1 reverse gear. That's all the more we need. And for steering, here's your steering. You got your right track. This brakes the right track and also clutches that side. So in theory, it would spin on a dime. However, that's not how it worked. And the steering wears out, the clutches wear out, and there's no way for them to really adjust it simply because of the location of the transmission, the location of all the adjustments is under heavy armor. You can't have this opened up when you're driving around firing at people. This is normally closed, so the steel comes right down to right here, and you have 2 3-inch vision slots right here. Okay, now that is all the viewing you have. That is straight forward, those 2 vision slits. So it's about the equivalent of trying to hold binoculars, you know, 1.5 feet from your head. You don't see much. You don't see anything that way. And you can't, again, lean forward and try to look through that, because again, you're like this, you'll be bouncing around, hitting your head. Very archaic the way they had it set up. You know, how they did it, well, they just did. There's no, it's pretty hard to try to understand exactly how they did everything, but they got the job done. There's no barrel there to grab anymore. Perfect job.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what'd you think?
That was pretty cool.
Pretty cool?
Pretty cool.
Not something you do every day.
Oh,
No,
really?
definitely not.
A little dusty and a little warm.
Sure hate to live like that for a
Yeah.
while. It's not a very comfortable ride.
No, but it gives you a feel
Yeah.
of what they went through as far as the actual ride goes.
That's insane.
And, you know, I mean, because normally you have no idea what they actually go through. You think, yeah, they rode in a tank, you know, okay, what about it?